The Galactic Council's most rigorous survival assessment had claimed the lives of 17 species' finest warriors over the past century. The barren moon of Xerion 7, with its toxic atmosphere, predatory wildlife, and extreme temperature fluctuations, served as the ultimate proving ground for any species seeking military alliance status. Commander Zethkar of the Vorthak Empire watched the human candidate through the orbital monitoring station's view screen with barely concealed disdain. The creature called itself Marcus Chen, and unlike the heavily armed and armored representatives of other species, it had arrived with nothing more than what it termed a hiking backpack and clothes that looked absurdly casual. "This is insulting." Zethkar clicked his mandibles in irritation. "The human lacks even basic environmental protection. It will be dead within hours." High Arbiter Velnaya, a crystalline being whose species had overseen these trials for millennia, remained silent. The humans had insisted on this test despite warnings about their species' apparent frailty. Their request for military alliance had been met with skepticism across the council. After all, what could a species that had barely achieved interstellar flight offer to civilizations that had mastered the galaxy? On Xerion 7's surface, Marcus surveyed his surroundings with the practiced eye of someone who had spent countless weekends in Earth's wilderness. The air was indeed toxic, but his small breathing apparatus, standard camping gear where he came from, handled the filtration easily. The temperature reading showed extreme swings between scorching days and freezing nights, nothing worse than some of the desert expeditions he'd enjoyed in Death Valley. Day 1, Hour 3, Marcus spoke into his recording device. A habit from his outdoor adventures. Found a nice sheltered spot near those rock formations. Soil composition suggests there might be water nearby. The local fauna seems curious but not immediately aggressive. He began unpacking his gear with methodical efficiency. A compact shelter that self-assembled in minutes, a water purification system, and what appeared to be simple camping tools. To the watching aliens, it looked like children's toys compared to the military-grade equipment their champions typically employed. Zethkar scoffed as Marcus cheerfully began constructing what appeared to be a fire pit. The fool will attract every predator within kilometers. But something strange happened. As night fell and Xerion 7's temperature plummeted to levels that had frozen previous candidates solid, Marcus sat comfortably by his fire, calmly preparing what looked like a meal. The thermal readings showed his body temperature remaining stable, while the environment around him registered lethal cold. "Impossible," whispered Sub-Commander Crixtel. "How is he maintaining homeostasis?" The answer became clear over the following days. Marcus wasn't fighting Xerion 7's environment. He was adapting to it with an ease that defied explanation. When the acid storm struck on day 3, storms that had dissolved Thraxian battle armor in minutes, Marcus simply retreated to his shelter and spent the time organizing his supplies and humming what he called camping songs. When the shadow predators emerged on day 4, creatures that had torn apart a Kethaloran war beast, Marcus observed them with interest rather than fear. He had noticed their hunting patterns, identified their weakness to bright light, and had positioned his camp accordingly. The predators circled his firelit perimeter but never approached. "He's not surviving," Velnaya realized with growing amazement. "He's enjoying himself." Indeed, Marcus's daily logs revealed a disturbing level of contentment. Day 6, beautiful sunrise today. The bioluminescent moss creates these amazing patterns at dawn, managed to purify enough water to last another week, and I think I've figured out which of the local plants are edible. The root vegetables taste a bit like turnips. By day 10, something unprecedented was happening on Xerion 7. Marcus had not only survived conditions that had killed the galaxy's most elite warriors, he had thrived. His camp had expanded into a small but efficient base. He had cataloged local flora and fauna, established sustainable food and water sources, and had even begun what he called trail improvements to make navigation easier. The breaking point came when Marcus encountered a wounded Xerion wolf, a creature whose pack had killed a draconian champion just 2 years prior. Instead of fleeing or fighting, Marcus approached the injured predator with careful, non-threatening movements and began treating its wounds with supplies from his medical kit. "Standard wilderness first aid," he explained to his recorder as The massive predator allowed him to bandage its leg. Big Guy probably got into a fight with another pack. These wounds are infected, but nothing some antiseptic and proper care can't handle. Within days, the wolf had not only recovered, but had begun following Marcus around like an enormous deadly pet. When its pack eventually found them, instead of attacking, they seemed to recognize Marcus as some form of alpha and began bringing him gifts of food. 15 days, Zethkar stated in disbelief. He has not only survived 15 days in conditions that killed our greatest warriors, he has domesticated the apex predators. On day 18, Marcus's cheerful voice crackled through the communications array. Hey, Orbital Station, this is Marcus. I know the test period was supposed to be 2 weeks, but I'm having such a great time down here. Would it be okay if I extended my stay? I've found this amazing cave system that I'd love to explore, and I think I'm close to understanding the migration patterns of the local wildlife. This is honestly the best camping trip I've had in years. The silence in the monitoring station stretched for a full minute. Finally, High Arbiter Velnaya spoke, her crystalline voice carrying a note of something that might have been awe. Commander Zethkar, prepare the Alliance documents, and perhaps we should begin studying human camping techniques. As Marcus settled in for another night on Zerion 7, his wolf companion resting beside his fire while he roasted local tubers and hummed contentedly, the galaxy began to understand a fundamental truth about humanity. What other species considered an impossible survival challenge, humans called a vacation. The test was survival. The human called it camping. And that difference, perhaps, explained everything the galaxy needed to know about why humans would make excellent allies. Word count, 1,000.